everybody, and welcome to Thursday. It is Thursday, November the 30th, which means it's the last day of the month. We're officially out of November. Thanksgiving's behind us and getting into December tomorrow on Friday. Great way to start the December month is on a Friday. Yeah, but we got to get through Thursday first. Now, you remember yesterday we talked about the North Pole. Who knew there was a North Pole in Alaska that was really a real place? I did not know that. I thought it was a joke. Apparently it's not. We'll get into some headlines and we'll get into the North Pole. Yes, here we go. Number one, this iconic California stand tops its burgers with an entire hot dog. Hold on. Clayton, get on this. A burger topped with a hot dog. That is right up that hot dog's alley. That's what I mean. All right, moving right along. Kellogg's iconic Pop-Tarts inspired by dog food. Yeah, this great breakfast treat of ours, Pop-Tarts, inspired by dog food. Yuck. Just kidding. Moving right along. Why NASA immediately suspended all Mars missions? Because it's a desert. It's one big giant desert. And nobody cares. It's a bleak, cold desert. We're over it. There's nothing on Mars but rocks and sand. And maybe there was water there once before. Who cares? It's now a desert. Yeah. Moving on to another planet. All right, okay, that's it for the headlines. We got to get into the North Pole, man. This is crazy. When I looked this up, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Is it a real place? People live there? How did this happen? How did we do this? Had to be a joke, right? It had to be a joke. Someone just said, oh, I'm going to go build a town in the middle of Alaska and make it the North Pole. Then I'm going to be cool. But that's actually not really how it really happened. So I had to look it up. And here's what we found. The North Pole is a small Alaskan city near Fairbanks, Alaska. It's known for its year-round Christmas decorations. That part's cool, got it? Including candy cane striped streetlights. Santa Claus House is a Christmas store with walls covered in children's letters to Santa and a huge Santa statue outside. Actually, it's the largest ceramic statue of Santa anywhere. Because I don't think people really make that many statues of Santa that are that big. All right, the streets have names like Kris Kringle Drive and Mistletoe Lane. Shocker. Yes, this is a real place, as you see. The area was formed by in the Central North Pole Homestead in 1994 by Bon and Bernice Davis. Yes, these people moved there and they were the homesteaders of the area. They just lived there. And yeah, so they didn't call it the North Pole. It's not there yet. 1952, Dahl and Gask Development Company purchased Davis's homestead, the family homestead. They bought the land, basically. This company, Dahl and Gask Development Company, they bought the land, subdivided it, so they chopped it into smaller segments to sell off for different things, and renamed it the North Pole in hopes of attracting a toy manufacturer to the area. There you go. That's how it happened. That's how we got the North Pole city in Alaska. They wanted a toy manufacturer to come there. They call it the North Pole. Toy manufacturer come there. Oh, this was going to be a amazing thing. Well, the toy manufacturer never showed up. But the before Christmas each year, but before that, they tried that. They named the streets. They did all these things, and there was a convenience store. It wasn't a convenience store. It was like a tchotchke store, a gift store type of place, and that became Santa's house, and that became kind of the focal point that they built around. But before Christmas each year, this is the unique thing about the town now. It's a big tourist attraction. People go there, take pictures, and see all the cool stuff. But before Christmas each year, the USPS post office in the North Pole receives hundreds of thousands of letters to Santa Claus, and thousands more from people wanting the town's postmark on their Christmas greeting cards
or their families. Yeah, so you can send it there, get the postmark, send it back to you. You have the postmark on it, and you can send it on to your families. So it's like, so it looks like it came from the North Pole, right? This is interesting. It advertises the zip code 99705 as the zip code of Santa. Yes. A community program also responds to letters addressed to 1 Santa Claus Lane. So oftentimes when young kids especially send letters to Santa Claus, those letters go to a specific place, 1 Santa Claus Lane, which is in this town, the North Pole in Alaska, and they have a group of people in the town that write back to them very sweetly, very kindly, of course, write back to them so that the kids get the letters to and from Santa. It's a really cool thing. So this is neat, and it's the middle of nowhere in Alaska, and it's got North Pole Elementary School, North Pole Junior High, North Pole High School. It's got gas stations. It's got McDonald's, like I said yesterday. It's got Taco Bell. It's got things. And then it's all these other things as well. So it's a pretty interesting place. Now, it's in Alaska. It's the middle of nowhere. I thought, you know what? Is it how North Pole-ish is it really? I mean, we saw some pictures with snow and stuff, but we think the North Pole is like, you know, the North, we think of it more like Antarctica, really. So I thought, I wonder today, what's the temperature like today, right now, in North Pole, Alaska? I looked it up. 12 degrees, people. 12 degrees in the North Pole. So it's living up to its name as the North Pole. Yes, sirree, Bob. Yes, sirree, Santa. Yeah, pretty interesting. Who knew? I didn't know that. So we learned something new today in the North Pole. If you ever want to go to travel, probably go in the summertime when it's not 12 degrees. Actually, some of their deep temperatures are in the negative numbers with the wind chill and stuff like that. It's a very, very cold place, but the summers aren't bad. So I read. Anyway, now you know where the letters go in the North Pole, and there is a real North Pole, Alaska. Kind of cool. So, very cool. All right, I said cool way too much. Let's move on to our National Day.
Very cool. Not as cool as my story, the North Pole. It should be North Pole Day. Yeah, but let's go back into the bearded past now with Zach.
Hey, everybody, it's Thursday the 30th, and guess what? Yeah, history happened.
That's it. Bye.
That's it. I'm out. Look it up. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Let's go ahead and go back to the bearded past. On this day, 1939, World War II, Soviet Red Army crosses the Finnish border. They wanted some land in Finland, and the Finnish border. There's several places, and they bomb Helsinki. Several other Finnish cities starting the Winter War. They called this the Winter War. It actually eventually went into the Russian favor, but man, did they show how horribly prepared they were for war. The Finnish, a much smaller army, used ski patrols to outmaneuver their tanks. Just a well done fighting fire squads. A lot more of what we use today, actually, in warfare. A lot more squad-oriented teams, whereas the Russians were just throwing massive amounts of people. Like I said, Russia ended up getting its territory, a little bit of the territory they wanted, just because the Finns just didn't have the people or the manpower. But man, did they put up quite a fight! It's a documentary. If you ever get an opportunity, just look it up. You can find lots of stuff on it. Also, too, we had on this day, we had 1940 World War II, the signing of the Sino-Japanese Treaty of 1940. So this basically states that the Emperor of Japan and the newly formed Wang Jing reorganized national government of the Republic of China. This treaty was considered so unfair to China that it was compared to the 21 demands. Now, if you don't know what the 21 demands were, it was a set of demands made during the First World War by the Empire of Japan under Prime Minister Okuma Shingnobu to the government of the Republic of China. The secret demands would greatly extend Japanese control in China, and basically it would be, basically Manchuria, South Mongolia, they basically became Japan. So this treaty that they just recently signed here is considered just as bad. Also, too, decolonization of Barbados. It becomes independent from the United Kingdom in 1966. 1967, the decolonization of South Yemen becomes independent from the United Kingdom. I can tell you that's a mess right now. They've been in civil war with each other for the last 15 years. Go Britain. And you also have, there's a lot going on during this time when it comes to these things. You also have, in 1972, we have the White House Press Secretary, Ron Ziegler, tells the press that there will be no more public announcements concerning American troop withdrawals from Vietnam because troop levels are now down to 27,000. A lot of the reason they didn't want to let people know about that is because the troop levels were so low. And the North Vietnamese were closing in. They just didn't want to basically admit on that we were pulling out of Vietnam. Eventually it led to the siege of Saigon and, of course, the famous helicopters, people hanging off and getting people out of there. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with today is going to be the Exxon and Mobil sign U.S. $73.7 billion agreement to merge, thus creating ExxonMobil, the world's largest company. Gotta love them. Gotta love those world's largest companies, especially when they're two oil companies getting stronger, guys. Getting stronger. Going to oil. It'll be here forever. Bye. No, just kidding.
Very cool. All right, we learned something new. We know about the North Pole. We know that tomorrow starts December, and it's going to be a great month. We got cool stuff coming up. We got our Christmas job fair, ugly sweaters, our commercials that we're going to make. We're going to film some commercials. We're going to have a great time.
this month of December. We got some cool stuff. Actually, that weird week between Christmas and New Year's, we only got 3 days. 3 days of wild activities that we're gonna do that week. We're gonna have some fun stuff that week, eat some tasty food that week as well. So even though it's kind of a weird week, it's gonna be a great week. So, and then we're gonna jump right into the new year after that. Can't believe we're already there almost. Oh, we'll talk about that later. Have a great Thursday, everybody. See you tomorrow Friday for some movie talk tomorrow on the morning routine. Take care, everybody.